Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Sorry about the delay. We just got home from the gym and I got myself a little snack over at Burger King. Well, me and my sister, we I recommended and pitched the idea. Like, hey, sis, miss me yet? Well, you can hop on past the street. I'll meet you there at Burger King. So we went to Burger King and I got myself a big fish sandwich and one. It actually is. It's actually more of a loaded fish sandwich. More like, like if you take the fillet of fish and you just add a bunch of lettuce and pickle and the little. Well, you know what a fish sandwich is supposed to be. Like a fried haddock or cod or the typical shit that people get, and then they fry it and deep fry over battle and stuff like that. Yeah, but I had a fish sandwich. I shared some French fries and Coke with my sister. Got her a little bit of the 8-piece nuggies. Um, so yeah. So what's poppin'? Well, not much, but yeah, it's confirmed. The in-laws are in New Mexico now. Yes, the in-laws are now in New Mexico, but that's only because you know they never been here before, so they say they want to kind of get the feel of what it is out here. So again, I don't know. I don't know and I don't care. But we're just basically saying and implying the fact that there's a lot of stuff happening out here in the Q. There's a lot of stuff happening out here in Quirky. Lots of stuff happening out here in the Quirk. So let's not be a jerk. Appreciate the quirk. Don't be a jerk. Appreciate the quirk. I think I might actually put that as a new motto. Um, actually, fuck, let's do that right now. Don't be a jerk. Appreciate the quirk. That I think is gonna be my new catchphrase. Here we go. Here we freaking go. Alright, I think I'm not gonna do it in a black marker. I'm gonna do it in a sky blue marker. Don't be a jerk. Love the quirk. There we go. It's official now. Don't be a jerk. Love the quirks. There we go. My new official catchphrase. Don't be a jerk. Love the quirks. Now I have my sister chanting, make no mistakes. But anyway, I'm kind of just, inventing my own wordplay, my own word phrases, like we hear on Hutchins Hut. We do. Yes, we do. Um, anyway, more disappointed than the way she way. But yeah, I'm sorry about what happened that other night. Why my live video I did on Ironheart ended up not going as well. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I just talked to Jocko.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Jocko said that
Uh,
you don't have to go to dinner with his parents. You can stay here.
I can.
Mhm.
Are you sure?
Yep. He said you don't have to go.
Okay. You showed me how to. I think you and Jocko showed me how to cook some simple things before.
No, you have leftover mac and cheese and sausage, and then there's a whole other sausage as well.
Oh, but I thought you were saving that sausage.
No, that's for you. A
Oh,
whole half of a sausage link plus extra sausage and mac
but
and cheese.
but we don't have any rolls to put the sausage on.
No, you could just eat it cut up, added to the mac and cheese to have extra sausage.
Oh, that's true.
I can cut
But
it up for you.
but I'm also saying like if we since we don't have. Did you use the whole entire box of mac and cheese when we made mac and cheese?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering just because now since I'm now part of EBT,
Yeah.
I was wondering, are we going to be going over to the bank again on for the month of July because with money being tight with the SS and stuff?
The bank?
Yeah, the bank.
I
The,
don't know.
the food bank, not the
Oh.
bank. No, the food bank. You know
Oh.
what I meant.
I don't know, dear.
Are you sure? I now invented a new motto. Don't be a jerk, love the quirks.
Okay,
That's my new.
It's a good motto.
It's a new.
No, you have.
It's a new motto.
So you have food
Okay.
here at the house. You got your mac and cheese. You got the sausage.
Extra sausage, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But if I'm still hungry after that, then.
And have some ice cream.
Oh yeah, I got those ice cream sandwiches for me and brother that I forgot I had.
So you can enjoy your time here.
Okay.
Without seeing Jocko's parents.
And they would be completely cool with
They're
that?
They're fine with that. Yeah,
they're cool with that?
They'll have dinner with Jocko at Thai Vegan, and they'll just hang out, and you don't have to hang out with them.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I had other plans anyway. I was probably gonna like catch up on like some comic book universe.
Okay, alright, yeah, but
I was gonna catch up on comic book universe. That way, I have some alone time to catch up on comic universe.
Yeah, no, you don't have to hang out with them. It's fine.
Okay, because they're not my people anyway.
Oh.
No offense, they're just not my people.
Alright.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see you put all your Chuck E. Cheese stuff on the wall.
Underneath the buy flag, and then
You just like looking at pictures of yourself?
Yeah, sort of. I don't. It's not like I have frames. It's not like I can hang anything here. I mean, over there you still had him. Brother got the gold frame for the Return of the Jedi, and I don't have a space to hang it because he never had time to hang it.
Okay.
But propped underneath that the rainbow flag.
Yeah.
It looks fine right now, but I'm saying like.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Did you have more? Did you have more meetings or more?
I do. Yeah, I got some schoolwork to do. So.
Oh, you said university stuff. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you around. Okay, you guys got to get another preview of my sister here on Hutchins Hut. But yeah, she was basically coming in, letting me know that I don't have to go to dinner with the in-laws. And I don't like the in-laws again because I pretty much have told you guys if you follow me on social medias why I don't like them. But yeah, anyway, again, don't be a jerk, love the quirks. Don't be a jerk, love the quirks. I think that's a great motto to live by. Don't be a jerk, love the quirks. Also, I wrote other notes in here yesterday when I was talking with my little bro. I said, we need to have a woman as president before I turn 40. Democrats support disabled guys, the little guys like me, whereas President Trump doesn't. Home Alone 2 is superior to the original. Lost in New York is greater than the OG. When Trump thought Taylor Swift wasn't sexy anymore, and then publicly announced it on his page. The New York Jets, or like almost saying the 9/11 Jets, George W. Bush is like saying towers. Martin Potato Roll Factory, and yucky pollution smoke in air. 7 p.m. quirky time, again, meeting up video chats with little brother David. Despite the misunderstood ideas you guys have had about my master Eric, he did still care about me. But my brother believes it's kind of more just because I'm, his word is I'm gullible, I'm easygoing, I'm kind of laid back. In fact, I'm the most laid back guy you're ever going to meet here on the tube. Make no mistake. I am the most laid back dude you probably... Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck just happened. But anyway, it said I had to reconnect because my phone was being stupid again. But yeah, what I was going off of was I said, I'm the most laid back YouTuber you probably ever met. because it's true. And in the real world, I'm also the most laid back guy you've ever met. Most of my followers, 350 plus strong. Most you guys know I'm the most laid back guy you ever met. Okay, so then I have this important pages I need to share to you. Again, remembering the many lessons from Eric. Don't get hung up on the small things. Trying the best you can. Ignore the people who say false statements about you. Be yourself. Sometimes people can be real a-holes to you. The difference between the good versus the evil. Respecting everyone even if you do not like them. Asking smart questions when you need more help on things. Realizing what good traits a superhero would carry throughout his everyday world. Handling hardships and troubles by continuing with courage and bravery to tackle everyday things. Being nice and doing random acts of kindness to win some points with God in heaven. Despite changes and upsets in the real world, do not under any circumstance get too hung up on it and let the other folks handle your problem if you cannot. Again, that's really important because, again, these are 4 pages of the many lessons from my dad, Master Eric. Because, don't forget, it's Eric Appreciation Month in July. Things I would probably need for the university, part 1. A USB drive that has, space because my computer doesn't have enough space. Ideas book for the awesome stuff. Class books for the other awesome stuff. An awesome collection of clothes and graphic shirts that I can have scream all the ladies over. I also did a couple of advertising over here for my sister, for her office and her friends. Places that are excellent to follow the NFL 2025 and 2026 season. 3 things you must have to enjoy an awesome or excellent NFL season. You have anywhere with alcohol, anywhere with hot mamas, and anywhere with food. Make no mistake, make no mistake, make no mistake. If you like or love the San Diego Padres team, join us now on the San Diego Padres Baseball Club, now enrolling for club memberships from 2025 to 2026, 2026 to 2027, and 2027 through 2028. Re-elect Vice President Kamala Harris for 2028. If you don't like Dramala, vote for Kamala. Joe Biden's sidekick from 2020 through 2024 has had some former experience in San Francisco. These ideas were sponsored in part by Be Well of New Mexico, Be Well Incorporated, professional and specialists of saving lives. How to enjoy Shakespeare in the Park in Albuquerque. First, watch Othello. Next, watch everything else. How to make my big brother's jambalaya and make it better. You reheat the jambalaya. You melt a slice of cheese. You add some hot sauce. You add some sweet baby rice. You sprinkle some salt and pepper, and then last week cool off to enjoy. Basically called a barbecue hot sauce cheese jambalaya. A recreated idea here at Daniel Hutchins Plans Incorporated. My task from the Monday of June 2025. Wake up, text my friend, re-listen and retune to the DuckTales theme song, get some clothes on, go to tutoring, my sister returns home, archive messages that might be sensitive to others, and have dinner. What else did I have in here that I can tell you? There's a bunch of things I can say. Drew a couple maps in here. Couple other things in here. I gotta write some more things in my notebook or my ideas book. Okay, this is important. RC Cola or Verner's for remembrance of Master Eric, or get myself Milwaukee's best ice beer in remembrance for Master Eric. I don't know if I'm gonna find that, but if not, then no big deal. I can also celebrate in remembrance of Master Eric in other ways as well. Saxophone cover of Michael Jackson. I already did that. The new episodes of John Oliver. Last night on John Oliver. The last episode last week was actually pretty good. Make no mistake there. Um, and other news, I found out that now Arby's, the roast beef sandwich place, is now tried purchase deal with Buffalo Wild Wings, and now Arby's is now making a partnership deal. To Arby's is now buying out Buffalo Wild Wings for a partnership deal for $2.9 billion. $2.9 billion. Arby's is now considered now a partnership deal where they will have the partial share and own Buffalo Wild Wings for a deal of wait, was it? I said nine, but no, $2.9 billion. Yes, Arby's is now considered a partnership deal to join forces and join the team with Buffalo Wild Wings for a share deal of $2.9 billion. That is what's going on with business news. With other news, I also have some other stuff I can do over here in the Star Wars Survival book. And you thought I was going to forget. Nope. I tried to stick through to my promise, my friend. I tried to stick through with my promise, okay? So now, since we read chapter 1, now we have to read chapter 2, The Dangers of Travel. Again, how to travel around the galaxy. Taking the time to plan your trip accordingly by making sure there's much more likely time for you to arrive in one piece. Perhaps if you're a high roller trying to wager a few million credits on the Canto Bight Casino, or you're a pilgrim making your way to the Holy Land, or you're for profit looking to do business on a mining colony, whether your destination is luxurious or low rent, just figuring out how to fucking get there, who you go with, and what you bring, to save you from many crucial situations later. Interstellar travel. That's basically space travel. Ships jump through hyperspace between star systems. More especially noted the Millennium Falcon, which is basically a Corellian ship freighter. We saw from the first Star Wars. So yeah. They basically have to follow many space highways that get them for destination. At a glance, type. Okay, I gotta do that glance transportation then. I gotta go up here. Okay, the top travel hubs. There are many of hubs within the planets in the galaxy of Star Wars. Make no mistake. The will of the Force, perhaps. Use the Force, you will. Use the Force, you will. Corellia. Again, Corellia, where basically is where Han Solo was born and raised. If you want a fast ship, you'll have to go no further than go into the shipbuilding world of Corellia. Avoid the gangs and the carnivorous beasts. On Tatooine, which is also where Luke Skywalker was adopted by Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Hire less reputable bounty hunters, receive smuggled goods, and bet on your pod race on this desolate world. Again, Coruscant, which is basically where the Jedi Temple used to be before the Scourge we call of Order 66. This legendary planet city is covered entirely of skyscrapers, above and high above, even taller than our heads. And there's lots of minerals down below. Negotiations. Just like when we negotiated a deal in the beginning where we saw, Darth Vader, trying to, try to interrupt the rebels as they were trying to protect Princess Leia. But, Death Star plans, Death Star plans, Rogue One, Episode 4, the hallway entrance with Darth Vader in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And then also you fast forward to 1999 where you have Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Padawan Obi-Wan trying to try to get to Naboo. Yeah, negotiate package. That's basically what that is. If you hire a private ship or private person to have you travel your way to meet your goals, align your goals, and with your captain, perhaps you will bound to more mutual desire than avoid imperial entanglements. Because remember, when Luke Skywalker and old Ben Kenobi, they went to Maz Eswi spaceport and hoping to find a pilot to get them to Alderaan, they looked no further than go to Han Solo. And then their friendship had continued after, for the rest of the saga. Visas. Just like how in our country we have what's called a visa. If you're traveling from other places outside internationally, you have a visa. It's basically a card that regulates your movement across the world. Very carefully and tread very carefully. Or sometimes, like Teddy Roosevelt always said, tread lightly and carry a big stick. Watch out, guys. Travel essentials. When preparing for a travel or a journey or an adventure, just like when, back in The Hobbit, back where we talk about Bilbo Baggins, and he's like, I'm going on an adventure. Yeah, you are. To the misty mountains cold, quite literally. There's a song about it. Yeah. When prepared for a journey or an adventure, always packing is like the last thing you do. Try to make sure you don't pack too much. And again, unless your name is Daphne Blake or Veronica Raj, either from Riverdale or, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, don't be the fool that packs too much and then realizes, like, oh shit, I lost my clothes. No, you don't want that. So avoid that. You need to have a very strong, sturdy travel case. You need to have tough boots and tough footwear that will help you walk across the terrain. You need to have your pin on your uniform always displayed, and you need to have a big giant coat. Because again, if you're going somewhere, you need to have a coat. It could be cold out in space. You need to have a coat. Why else do you think Peter Quill wears a coat? When he was adopted by Yondu, when he was he says Ravager. They all wear coats. In the glance, transportation. Do you want to travel in a shadow or make a show of yourself? The choice is yours and yours alone. Public. If you're most anonymous and you want to be in the crowd, then look no further than go to our Starliner. Private. Now, if you want to go on a private ship, contact guys like Han Solo. He'll fly you to where you go. You go on place like contact Han Solo. Be like, hey, Mr. Han Solo, I need you to help me get to this planet. Sure, but it'll cost you something. So then that's where the Millennium Falcon comes in. Then you have luxury. Now, if you're really, 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 really wealthy, or you're made of a lot of money, or you're in the Senate of like Alderaan, or you're Bill Organa, or something like that, then luxury is your choice. Essential for basically 5-star people, like Mon Mothma, Bill Organa, the Senate, the senators we know from the Star Wars series, 5-star people, luxurious lifestyle. Come on, bro. Okay. Now back to business. Hazards of space travel. From carnivorous beasts to black holes, space isn't really what you think. So be careful. Flying through space on a commercial Starliner, helmed with certified pilots, far away from the safest way through the cosmos, because it's the power cosmic, don't you know? Silver Surfer is all based on this phrase. Cosmic, bro. Believe in the power cosmic. Make sure you choose a passage wisely. Space is not just a vacuum, and there can be a lot of unpleasant things between A and B. Watch out. There are silicon-based life forms that don't require oxygen to survive. These monsters can be found in the deep depths of space. Oftentimes, hanging out around asteroid belts, and also they're giant slugs, like not like Jabba the Hutt slug, but a different kind of slug. And they're scavengers and parasites, so they can they can kill you, kill you. Prefer not to share again with you being its meal or victim, and chew through a ship's power cable or sustenance. Their wings are particularly suited for flapping around fit atmospheres on the interstitial caves. Dealing with these, remember, identify them indeed but a source of intermittent power outages. The squeal and the noise they make is very distinctive, but be prepared, again, to go on the outside and try to figure out your problem. If your ship or transportation can shoot electrofeedback pulses through your external power line, you might be okay, but just be able not to electrocute yourself, but try to kill these monsters or these parasites. It is popular, and these slugs are very popular for other aliens within the universe, especially the Twi'leks. Um, if you have to do, again, a evacuation, you have to have visual contact on attached sites and then hit these monsters or parasites with a blaster or a gun, preferably a handgun, and you can blast them in close range. The eyes of these monsters adapted to spotting prey at low light conditions, more dim than dark conditions. Mouth. The mouth of these monsters is like an airlock. It suction cups you, and it can eat you. So just be careful. Hyperspace. What isn't like dusting crops, or if you're a crop duster, like literally, if you're a crop duster. Hyperspace is in a layer of space in a quantum level beneath real space. It basically is the space above the space, which travel many times faster than the speed of light is possible, although something that cannot be said is impossible. You'll need to carefully calculate your path and the powerful engines by velocity and acceleration, just like the science of physics, pretty much. Space is basically like physics. The powerful engine to access hyperspace as well as excessive and expensive hyperfuel, or as they call coaxium. That's what the little blue cans we saw on Solo the Star Wars story. Coaxium. Not just any farm boy can jump to light speed. What happens when hyperspace goes wrong? Well, when hyperspace is done wrong, there could be black holes, shadows within hyperspace, which means you can collide with them and travel through hyperspace, smashing yourself into an infinite cloud of particles, and the coaxium itself is extremely flammable and explosive. In short, when hyperspace goes wrong, you die. Yep, you die. In a glance, hazards. Space travel might seem routine to well-connected galaxies. An unpleasant reality in space is very scary. Very scary indeed. Asteroids. Well, this is basically simple astronomy stuff we're saying. Asteroids. These are basically the rocks that make it challenging to navigate, especially when you saw Han Solo try to show off and be flex and have an ego, and in The Empire Strikes Back, he was trying to go through the asteroid belt. Black holes. Now, if you encounter a black hole, you don't know what's on the other side. Hyperspace failure. Again, we just said that, if you're paying attention. Megafauna. This is basically a vacuum of space where we have those beasts we talked about on the other page. And Pterodactyl. Pterodactyl is also a space, basically like a space whale. And they're gentle giants. They're basically space whales. And if you know what I mean by space whales, you can watch Adventure Time. Adventure Time, they have giant space whales. Okay, starship safety. When traveling in starship, there are things that go wrong. Interstellar flight can be dangerous, especially when you're traveling in galaxy-span civil war is raging. But the properly safety protocols should be followed. Explosive decompression and irradiation is possible, and if it's further avoided and dealt with, it does occur. In most cases, that is lost in your ship will call to crash land a happy landing. You can't call a crash landing a happy landing because it's not a happy landing. Therefore, it's not a happy landing. It's a crash landing. As long as you have insurance to pay for your loss and you have somebody who can actually pay for your loss, then good. Escape pods. These are basically the capsules underneath your ship. So, like if your main ship burns up, you have a second ship. Reactor explosions. These are basically hostile ships that target an enemy in their rain reactor and shuts them down and critical functions cease to exist. It also further justifies you explode and you can die with it if you, again, are a victim of. Maneuverable thruster, flotation ring, keep pod upright in water, collisions. Just like on Earth, we have collisions, but a spaceship collision is even more fatal. Tractor beams should prevent most of what we saw in collisions, but it can take a lot of time to get out of it. And to get out of the lock of a collision with a tractor beam, it's just grazing, damaging, and should be minimal. But again, if angle of entry is severe, or more severe in your case, one ship can slice right through you and literally can kill you. Hull branches. Hull branches are basically what explosive decompression of a ship's internal atmosphere within the vacuum of space. Emergency shields can compartmentalize the damage and adjacent sections or can suck you out too. By that, it also kills you. Artificial gravity failure. Floating within a zero gravity zone can be very bad for you, especially if you're not trained to be, an astronaut, like in NASA or SpaceX. Artificial gravity failure or floating with no gravity is very bad for you. So you need to make sure you are in good physical shape. Beware, if you're flying in a craft that is too small to hold your escape pod, such as a starfighter, eject your seat and make sure you have a parachute on. In-flight repair. Hire an astromech droid or a droid that will help you, or a Wookiee who knows how to go around a HHO spanner to take care of your repair duties. If this option is available, you can also ignore that and go to steps 2 and 3. Step 2. If you're short on the credits needed for step 1, you need to head a crash course and head mechanics yourself. If you do crash, you see a technician and custodian and look for as an apprentice. Step 3. If you finally know the difference between a HHO span and a HHO drive motivator, you might really well know how to fly. But if you don't know how to fly, then you should not fly. Simple. But remember that hitting your console when things do not work is not the long-term solution. In fact, it makes it worse. Starship pilot the basics. If you are a Skywalker or anyone of pilot knowledge or pilot experience, you'll probably be able to fly with your blindfold on. And if not, you need to follow these tips. Some pilots are born with the Force. And if you don't have a strong connection with the Force, then you probably won't be a pilot. So just be aware of that. Watch out. Finding your way around cockpits. Don't know what the inertial compensator is or a proximity indicator? You should not be flying. Here's a quick crash course on what you need to do if you crash and you don't have proper flight training. It's also called the Air Force. Transpestial viewpoint, comms readout that attaches to your headset, hyperdrive control and light speed, and droid interface for extra nav computing. Essential evasive maneuvers. If you never know what the galaxy will throw at you, since it will throw lots of shit at you, no mistake there, it's important you plan for a lot more than just taking off and landing. These tricks and techniques will help you save your life from a fiery death. Just like, like when a pilot doesn't know how to fucking fly, and they crash and they fucking burn up with the ship, and then they die. Boom. Asteroid tricks. To get around asteroids, you don't have to be all flashy and, think like you're like, oh, look, I'm a man. I'm going to fly around an asteroid belt. Like you saw in The Empire Strikes Back. Don't make that mistake. Don't be cocky. Get comfortable making around turns and use your peripheral vision. Navigating your high sight is very important. Because when you're flying a fucking spaceship, you need to use your eyes. Hyperspace tactic. If you don't know how to use hyperspace, don't use hyperspace. Simple. Safety in numbers. Form a squadron or ships that will be your backup. Especially like when we destroyed Death Star 1 and Death Star 2. More specifically, Star Wars A New Hope and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Enclosed space. So if you're in a really tight space, then try to elude the enemy as much as possible. Starships, Do and Do Not by Master Yoda. Do take your time to let your navigator computer or astromech calculate your safest route through hyperspace, so you don't throw yourself through the middle of a supernova. And a supernova is basically like a big fucking explosion that kills you in the very process. So don't do that. And now for the don'ts. Do not rely on hitting your cockpit interface if they suddenly power down. Take your ship to a more repairable area or go to a repair service place or somewhere on that knows mechanics or knows how to fix your ship. The pirates. Okay, this is the space pirates. These space pirates are not like we have pirates like back, like Blackbeard. No, these are actually real pirates. Space pirates. Different kind of pirates. These space pirates are basically the authority. When the big galaxy is, and your authorities cannot respond to every distress call, make no fear. This is how you survive against pirates. Pirates know that if you wait to negotiate an attack through asteroid belt or planetary rings, and unsuspecting by lucrative targets, these fiends are larger than life, and yes, they have the courage and the strength and the bravado that sometimes get the better of them. Pirates, space pirates. Yes, I'm here, Trent. Yes, I'm here. I'll respond to you later. Pirate gangs. Pirates are the scum of the world. They are simply rely on safety on numbers and camaraderie and can use them to use against you. If captured, try to sell out your rivalry and try to not trust between the gang. Beware. Pirates, again, pirates of the Star Wars galaxy. The most famous one, Hondo Ohnaka. Hondo Ohnaka, the most famous Star Wars pilot. He's talkative, he's witty, he's sometimes known to have a monkey lizard on his shoulder and has lost many fortunes. Other famous pirates of Star Wars. Sidon Ifio, aka the Crimson Corsair. He has uncovered secret locations of German separatist droid bases. And then the other one, the one that we saw from the Disney sequels, the Emfrey's Nest. The Emfrey's Nest is a bunch of pirates that mask partitions that basically keep their thefts in secret while going toward the fund on rebellion against the Empire. So you have different pirates. I just wittily named them. How to survive being boarded by pirates. Whether you call them smugglers or just space marauders or space pirates, as they are, you have to have you have hidden spaces on your ship. So remember, you need to have a gas mask or a breathing mask and a tank to hide spot. So then when your ship is flooded and attacked with toxic gas, you know how to fucking save yourself. In case of boarding parties of pirates, and you don't have a gas mask, if they, lock you tight and you fucking die with, having lack of oxygen and you have toxic gas flying every fucking where, you have to have a mask. Wear a fucking mask. In a last resort, not an option for everybody, but consider reservist space on your ship in a cage for hungry beast and other hijackers. At a glance, the pirate spaceships. The pirate spaceships. The Marauders. The Marauders are basically a dagger-like ship that almost looks like a bird. Okay, the Marauder is basically like a bird. Not to get confused with the bird or the ship that we know from X-Men or Japanese superheroes. That their ships are almost shaped like bird. The Acushnet. The Acushnet is a sleek dinnerware style pirate craft that almost looks like a UFO, but it has little tails underneath it. Swoop bikes. Now, don't get these confused with speeder bikes, because speeder bikes are what the scout troopers had used on the chase on Endor, through the Battle of Endor, or the speeder chase on Endor. The difference between a swoop bike and a speeder bike is the speeder bike is run and piloted by scout troopers on Endor, hence Battle of Endor. Swoop bikes, their difference is because they have a much powerful engine and can overheat, and like I said, they are very highly maneuverable, and as such they are super sleek, super small, and super fast. Pirate hideouts, or pirate turfs. Planetary base where pirates hide out. Basically, you go to any planet that has pirates on it, chances are it's a pirate hideout. Okay, I'm not trying to read everything word for word. I'm trying to throw my own words in. How to survive a crash landing. Okay, so every now and then your engine might fail. So then know how to survive a crash landing. Platforms might not be available, but all is not lost. No, all is not lost. Unless you want to lose everything, which I don't think you do. And unless your name is stupid, then don't. Do not panic. The fire reverse thruster. Like we have talked about over when we were talking about Millennium Falcon, there is a fire reverse thruster. This is the tool you use. The crash is usually preceded by loss of navigation controls. If you have lost your main engine in a battle, like a very intense space battle, try and stabilize yourself by slowing down your descent with fire and retro thrusters. Adjust heat control. Now, heat controls. Also, I said that also in the other section. If you hit a planet in the outer atmosphere, the friction will cause your temperature to heat up and you will probably die. Aim well. Now again, if you control or continue to fly through the atmosphere, part of your ship will burn. And if you're not careful, then you will burn too. Simple said, done. Activate landing protocols. If you don't have landing gear, then you're also going to fucking die. Easy said than done. Alert emergency crews. If you don't have an emergency crew nearby, then chances are you're on your fucking own, bro. You're on your fucking own. Buckle up, which means wear a fucking seatbelt, goddammit. That's why we have seatbelt laws in the US. We need to wear seatbelts. And if you do that, then congratulations. Pat yourself on the motherfucking back. You survived a crash landing. Crash landings, do and do nots by Master Yoda. Here we go. Do eject from your ship. Escape pod if you have a clear pathway out. Make sure the beacon is set so people can fucking rescue you. Do not jump onto murk swamp waters, like my swamp on Dagobah, for you do not know what lurks underneath. It could be snakes. There can be bats. There can be rats. There could be anything. Hell, there could even fucking be frogs. Do guide your ship as best as you can. In an unpopulated area, you should. The innocent beings on the ground will thank you. Do not leave identifying materials or, obvious material behind in your escape pod or a shipwreck unless you're in enemy territory, and then they will fucking rob you, and then you will be captured, and then you will be sentenced and be a slave and maybe fucking die. So listen to Master Yoda, goddammit. Listen to Master Yoda. He's telling you everything. Beast of the universe. Okay, these are the beasts of the Star Wars universe. Or said just some of the beasts we don't hear. We have a whole bunch of chapters still. The beast of the Star Wars universe. Now, again, for carrying heavy loads and producing tasty blue milk, these creatures need to earn their keep. There's also military animals, there's civilian animals, there's all sorts of things. Some beasts are known for military, where others are known for civilian sourcing. There's a huge difference. And in a glance, here are the key statistics. All beasts on the Star Wars universe have different origins and very stock limbs, very broad feet for stability, thick hides, ductile temperatures, and animals don't require lots of training. And you have to learn how to train them, otherwise they're gonna fucking eat you and kill you. Environment adaptation. Some of these animals here, or creatures and beasts here on Star Wars, they have to evolve to their own environment. By taking them outside of their environment, they're gonna fucking die. So, again, don't make that mistake. Never make that mistake. A dewback. A dewback is like a giant fucking lizard where you see the sand trooper on Tatooine. He rides across the dunes on the desert dune. Now we have what's called how-tos of tauntauns. Tauntauns, you know, tauntauns. How to take care of your tauntaun. Keep them fed on mossy grass and that can be found on Hoth's Cave and brush their fur very regularly. Just like you brush your cat, brush the tauntaun. Just like you brush your horse, brush your tauntaun. God damn it, god damn it, god damn it. Listen to your tauntaun. They can generally sense when you're in danger or when you're afraid. They can also smell wampas from a very long distance. If your tauntaun has died, use them for a makeshift shelter, as we see on page 18 on this survival book. They have a seat. So if you have a seat, it has to be have a lumbar groove. It's perfect for a saddle. So if you're, Luke or Han Solo and you're trying to travel on Tauntaun across the wintry planet of Hoth, you need to have a saddle. He has a very strong tail. Tauntauns have to keep balance, and by running very fast, they have a strong tail. Defense horns. The horns are kind of like the tusk that batters them away from wampas. Insulation. They are very, very furry. Yes, tauntauns are very furry. Yes, indeed, they're very furry. They protect from low temperature and Hoth. Beware, sometimes a tauntaun fur can protect them during the day, and at night these beasts can need to be used for shelter. And a warning sign. If your tauntaun is saying really loud noises and flashing its head around violently, it's probably because it's either hungry, it's cold, or probably, again, hypothermia. So make sure you take care of your tauntaun. That is Tauntaun 101. Smugglers. Here we go. This is, again, the profile of Han Solo we're talking about. These smugglers, the most famous one being Han Solo, we don't have to go through that because if you know Han Solo, you read Han Solo, you watch Han Solo. Okay, I'm going to skip this one because you guys should already know Han Solo. If you don't know Han Solo, you're on your own with that one. I've already have exhausted a lot of stuff. And until next time in the book, the next chapter in the book is The Dangerous Hazards of Technology. The next chapter we have is The Hazards in Technology. Okay, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed that little class on how to survive in the Star Wars universe, because the next chapter is going to be The Hazard in Technology. Okay, I don't know when that's going to be. Oh, hi there. Okay, yeah, what's up? I have a couple people watching me now. Good. Alright. I just have the rest of my orange IPA right here. It's an NA beer, a non-alcoholic orange IPA. Free wave. Okay. So, whatever stuff can we talk about? Well, again, I'm glad you asked. What are we gonna do? Also, special sponsor today for the Hutchins Hut, our favorite cereal, Captain Crunch. We love Captain Crunch because, again, Captain Crunch is a cereal, again, that me and Master Eric, we love our Captain Crunch. So, again, I put it out in the closet on my shirt shelf. Okay, so Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. What's up? Um, I literally was doing a little bit of some recaps, more announcements, and I read the chapter on the hazards and danger of traveling across the Star Wars universe. Um, Also, last night I was doing a little bit of some Flashdance. I was watching a little bit of Flashdance by Michael Cimbello. Michael Cimbello. She's a maniac, maniac on the floor. And she dances like she never danced before. I was doing a little bit of Flashdance yesterday to help me sleep. Because if you do a little bit of Flashdance, again from the 1980s movie Flashdance, it's guaranteed to make you wear out very, very quickly, get you very, very tired, get you really, really tired, and then you fall asleep. That's why I did the Maniac by Michael Cimbello, Flashdance. Um, all of you guys are should be pretty well aware of Flashdance. Um, my week's all right. How's yours? Um, I'm I'm trying to see what's going on. Oh, okay. Trying to check my notifications on my YouTube account, see what's going on. Okay, so apparently the Baltimore game, the Baltimore versus Tampa Bay game, is actually now pushed to dinner time. I thought it was actually going to happen right now, but no, it actually is going to happen at dinner time. Um, it's going to happen at 4:50 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, the Baltimore Tampa Bay baseball game is tonight on 4:50 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, cool! You got yourself some Domino's, bro. That's awesome. I actually had Chuck E. Cheese the other day, and then I went to another independent place. It's called Restoration Pizza. I've had pizza twice this week, dude. Oh yeah, the game. Yes, I watch lots of baseball games and lots of football games, lots of basketball games, lots of hockey games, etc., etc., etc. So, um, I gotta close some of my unused tabs off the top of my browser tabs, and because the baseball game that I'm trying to wait on doesn't happen until this evening around 4:50 p.m. East time, because most videos and games happen on East time, and I'm basically what's on Mountain time because I'm in Albuquerque. We go on Mountain time. They actually it's called Mountain time here, but I call it Quirky time because again, I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I lived here since February 20th of 2025. Um, so this is like my 5th month here, bro. Okay. So we are gonna pop on one of these tabs, my extra YouTube tabs. Okay. We are gonna go on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit of some reviews on the show I was trying to do for you yesterday on the late night videos, or wasn't really technically a late night video because it was kind of before 9 o'clock, but you kind of know what I'm saying. So what we're gonna do is we have to enable the ads. Hold on, fuck. We're going on, or this is fucking dumb. I'm trying to bypass on Rotten Tomatoes or hack onto Rotten Tomatoes without having to do it with ads. So again, what are we checking on Rotten Tomatoes? On Rotten Tomatoes, we're gonna check out what people said about Iron Hearts. Okay, Iron Hearts. No, we're not doing the martial arts movie Iron Heart. We're doing Iron Heart of the MCU. If I can find it. Hold on. Iron Heart of the MCU. Do I use 24 hours or 12 hours? Well, here in the United States, we always go by 24 hours, dude. We always go by clock of 24 hours, dude. God damn it. So, I know Rotten Tomatoes can be such a freaking bitch to get on. So, let's go on Rotten Tomatoes reviews on Ironheart 2025. Okay, now I know what to do. We're going to go on our friends comicbook.com because here on the Hutchins Hut and our affiliates, we love to use trusted resources like comicbook.com, which is a division owned by Paramount. Ironheart, the series that came out this last Tuesday. Ironheart's Rotten Tomatoes score makes it the Marvel Cinematic Universe's the fourth worst rated TV show in the history of the Marvel Universe. So, Marvel Studios has been trying to buckle right down with the critics in recent years. More specifically, people that we hate here on Hutchins Hut. We have a lot of critics that we hate on Hutchins Hut. We have really special hatred for all the critics in Hollywood. Make no mistake. We hate the critics. Never agree with the critic because you are your own critic. You don't need critics. Again, I told you that again and again and again on separate specials. The most prime example of a asshole critic in the movie industry, again, guys like Martin Scorsese. Again, we hate Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is such a fucking jackass. Don't ever follow anybody or have anybody follow Martin Scorsese because chances are he's wrong. And he is wrong. Therefore he's wrong. And therefore, under any circumstance here on my channel or channels, don't ever listen or entertain to the idea of Martin Scorsese. Because Martin Scorsese is a fucking asshole. Again, anyway, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has earned the Rotten score, finally, from Rotten Tomatoes. And the floodgate has opened, my friend. The floodgate has opened. And the whole entire universe is flooding. And all the people underneath are dying. And drowning. And dying. And drowning. And dying. And drowning. The superhero fatigue is real. It's been that way since Iron Man snapped the fucking gauntlet. Superhero fatigue has been very apparent, and we have witnessed it right now. Following after when the time when Iron Man snapped the fucking gauntlet, tried to save the fucking universe, everything has gone to shit downhill. However, it's hard to ignore the dip of quality in the project. Again, while things have been looking up for the Thunderbolts, yes, we love the Thunderbolts. Where the Thunderbolts? Yeah, I love David Harbour. I love Red Guardian. I think he's like the frickin' best MCU father next to almost all the comic book fathers of the modern MCU. It's hard to ignore the dip of quality within the Marvel Universe, and things have been looking very good for the Thunderbolts. Whereas Ironheart, it basically is the exact opposite. It is the exact opposite. Okay. It is fair and safe to say, or assumed to say, Ironheart is fighting an uphill battle and trying to fill in the shoes and fill in the gap for one of the hardest roles to fill. She's trying to basically be like Iron Man 2.0. But she's not. She's never going to be Iron Man 2.0. What it should have been is Harley Keener. You know, Harley Keener, he's the boy with the potato gun who we saw, the kid that people saw at Iron Man's funeral on Endgame. Harley Keener, the person who should have filled in the shoes for Iron Man, should have been Harley Keener, but it wasn't, so now we have to pay the price and sweep in it. It's almost 3 years since we got to see a show again on the platforms that are actually build hype. Now, enlisting the help from Robert Downey Jr., who appears ready to pass on the torch. Unfortunately, because people are against women or, people of color playing superheroes, Ironheart has been revealed bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and before it dropped. Mostly because people don't want to accept diversity. And, again, it's judged by an unsavory crowd. most of the same universe we're in. Basically, all these sexist, racist assholes are trying to fucking light up the fire and light up some torch on Ironheart because they say it's really bad. So, okay, the show on the current tomato score says it's higher than its original audience one. However, it's only sitting at a 72%, and it only has 39 reviews. Again, it probably has more, but this article's probably been a few days ago. Rotten Tomatoes has also taken steps and measures to remove undue criticism on the platform. The audience score on Ironheart is a 71 in time of this publishing. Again, the time of this publishing. Those numbers are more than respectable given its MCU's track record, and they probably aren't where Kevin and his friends want them to be. Ironheart performance on Rotten Tomatoes is the fourth worst of a series in the MCU, ignoring the fact that the Netflix shows also came over a few years ago after Netflix had removed them and we bought Netflix back. The only three below that is Marvel Inhumans, Marvel Echo, and Marvel The Secret Invasion. The Inhumans isn't even worth it because, again, it sucked. Echo also sucked because it's supposed to be the rip-off of the Hawkeye series. And Secret Invasion is basically where Nick Fury is basically, going off into space living with the Skrulls. Very weak stories that bog down the shows down tremendously. In greater turn, interesting characters break out their shells themselves. These further complaints about Ironheart are similar to the before mentioned we say above. Inhumans, Echo, and Secret Invasion. So, at least it's not the worst. Inhumans is the worst. Echo is second. Secret Invasion is third. And now we have Ironheart. So at least the show still has some time to work out their bugs. Ironheart has a really weird release. And can it keep them from flying down or crashing? While critics' opinion is already set of stone because they've seen all 6 episodes of Ironheart episodes, where the audience is not, we only saw 3. The first 3 episodes, again, are available. The rest of them are going to release next week. Marvel Studios shows now like to keep the cards close because, Marvel likes to keep in secrecy. That also explains why the Avengers Doomsday and Avengers The Secret Wars, though they don't have script. They don't have script. They have to keep it in secrecy. All of the actors in the projects have to be sworn to secrecy. It's kind of like a cult. There are rumors that Mephisto, the Marvel Devil, or the Marvel Satan, or the Marvel Devil, Mephisto, is supposed to have a role finally in Ironheart. It has been rumored and has been teased before back in WandaVision, back in 2021. Phase 4, the experimental phase, as we call it. But now we are finally going to see Mephisto. Finally, hopefully, fingers fucking crossed, hope the motherfucking die. Playing that Devil Went Down to Georgia, the fiddle. Okay, so Mephisto basically is now going to be confirmed. And all of us are dying to see him. Since his rumor that pulled up in WandaVision that just never happened, now his appearance is now official. We are actually now going to see Mephisto, the Marvel Devil, or the Marvel Satan, or the Marvel Devil, yeah, like I just said. Outside the major character introduction, there probably might be some tease or some setup for Avengers Doomsday. Again, because the universe is connected, it's interconnected, it's always been interconnected. And the real fresh appeal of finishing up Ironheart and seeing where Riri is going to take her story next. She's looking to try to continue Tony Stark's legacy by any means possible. Yeah, any means possible. Sure you are. You keep saying that now. And then it means traveling to dark places and doing very shadow things. Again, Her actions speak louder than words. That's what basically my mom is saying, or as my father has said. Actions speak louder than words. Um, the actions will soon come and bite her in the ass, and it will. Trust me, it does. I've learned the hard way many times, and I'm still trying to learn. It'll take all her brain power to cook up a way in a situation and a solution to get herself out of it, even if it costs many, many lives in the process. Um, Ironheart is now on Disney Plus. Again, I literally reminded you the first 3 episodes are there, but then the next ones are not going to hit until Tuesday, July 1st. Um, the official debut of the 2025 Eric Appreciation Month. How do you feel about the Rotten Tomato score? Do you think it deserves to be on a 71%? Or do you think it deserves more? Do you think it needs lower? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Now, this is kind of something we never touched base on. This is Squid Game. Squid Game, the final season of Squid Game. Or at least I feel it should be the final season. I don't think it's the final season, but I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet money that this will be the last season of Squid Game. Squid Game Season 3, Rotten Tomatoes score is already better than Season 2. Okay, Squid Game is also basically for slums who also remember the series and the uh, Netflix streaming service. And after waiting 3 years for them to finally make the second season, now they are trying to keep hope alive for the third season. Well, technically, there was season 2, and then there was season 2.5, and then there was season 3. So that's season 3 now. As later has put on Squid Game season 3, to finish that series, you need to base it off the early scores on Rotten Tomatoes. And again, we don't like Rotten Tomatoes, but again, we have to talk about them because they're entertainment. So can the plane land in a safe fashion? I don't know. It's a good question. Controversy, you know me, it's controversy. Woo woo, it's controversy. Join the controversy train, motherfucks. So now, currently Squid Game Season 3 holds around an 89% in the critic, and there's already been 30 reviews that have submitted. But that's probably changed now because of the publication of this article. According to the critic and their consensus, or their bullshit consensus, Squid Game Season 3 seems to have the awareness that Season 2 has not have. The show has also been a deeper theme of capitalism and twisted human empathy and social ethics. And yet again, Squid Game's success's popularity becomes a twisted curse. Said so, the Season 2 creator Hugh Wang Dung Hugh Young has now left Quigley wrestling with how to continue their story, while acknowledging the sick irony and the bigger audience watching and rooting for the game of death. Because basically the whole idea of it is a game of death. Just like when Hunger Games, basically, when that came out, that was a game of death. Season 3 seems to find better foot on the front. As critics note, the new season finds a better way to both tell the traditional Squid Game story. And viewers want to see it all go double-edged, like a double-edged sword. Just like when Darth Maul met Qui-Gon Jinn on, what became of Qui-Gon Jinn, and he fell and he got stabbed, like, ooh! Like double-sided sword, like, again, Darth Maul, yes. He's like, boom, boom. He's like double-sided. He's the only character that we have seen in the Star Wars with a double-sided sword. Now, people like to argue that Kylo Ren also had a double-edged sword, but it wasn't a double-edged sword. It was basically a shit sword, where it's like you'd have boop, beep, beep, and like 2 little Frankenstein plugs on the side. It's kind of what I call a pussy sword, honestly. Kylo Ren has a pussy sword. Okay, and Count Dooku, he has cool swords. His kind of like a curve. And then there's an Emperor sword. Okay, I don't know. That's it. We're getting off topic here. But anyway, Season 3 seems to find better foot on the ground. As critics have better noted, the new season finds better way to tell the story of the traditional story that viewers wanted to see, with a double-edged sword. basically, I described double-edged sword. In the late depiction of the VIPs who got to see the Squid Game opening red carpet, they remind us of what has been missing from the series. Rather than digesting it word for word, we're here to tell us the problem. There's a writer over on The Vulture. She wrote her review. She later adds, it's another sign where the Squid Game has basically turned the world upside down, and the series ultimately presented by Gon Ji-hung, the surrogates and one viewer. Most of those parties are on the wrong side of the progress, as said son otherwise. Squid Game suggests it's not the man willing to risk his life to save the others. He's trying to keep himself alive. Are fans really turning on with Squid Game? Well, I can tell you my brother David definitely is. On the other side, Angie Han from the HHR, which we all know here on the Hutchins Hut, that's Hollywood Reporter, they say there are no redeeming qualities left of the show. It's nice knowing you, Squid Game, and we really are hoping and praying that this will be the final straw. We're hoping this is the final straw. Really hoping so. Her point, the season 3 currently holds an audience score of 45% of the 100 reactions that are submitted across the web. This has raised the eyebrows and the serious question about will it ever become a global phenomenon that it really was. Well, probably it did, but again, considering the fact it happened during the COVID, we need to kind of pack away or start our kids, and you can now watch it on Netflix now. Okay, so there you go. This is one of the one and rare occasions where I actually get to tell you about Squid Game. My brother watches it. I don't watch it, but he watches it. That's basically the only reason he has Netflix. He watches it. Now we're going to more Adult Swim, because with Eric Appreciation Month next week, we're going to maybe do a little bit of Adult Swim. So just look no further than Adult Swim, Rick and Morty. Okay, Rick and Morty. Yes, Rick and Morty. They now have a new open hilarious tribute that plays classic to the classic series. Okay, so Rick and Morty. I'm no stranger when it comes to Rick and Morty because I grew up with Rick and Morty, and I'm sure some of you younger people who are in their later 20s or early 30s, you guys will probably appreciate Rick and Morty as well. So we're catching you guys up on the next set of Rick and Morty. Okay, and there's also a trailer you can watch on YouTube on Adult Swim. Rick and Morty are now confirmed in 8th season. They ventured into some wild territory on the Adult Swim. Rick Sanchez has created a Matrix-like world to punish his grandkids, and Jerry then becomes a killer Easter bunny. There is a citadel within Rick's starting to make a return. In the next episode, the curious case of Benjamin Button, well, that's a mouthful, is planning to focus on two daughters of Rick in a new cold open series that gives our fans a better idea of what to come. Hilariously though, the animated series also is willing to pay homage to a classic TV show. And we're going to tell you what that is, so just hold your hats. Space Beth and Rick have to go on another interstellar adventure earlier in the season of Season 8, fighting against one of the biggest alien threats ever, and they have been a thorn to the side of Rick Sanchez and his family throughout the whole series of their history. Wasting no little time, Space Beth is now set to return to seemingly have an adventure with her Earthbound cohorts, or allies, as we say. On this day, viewers still are not aware if Beth is the real Beth or if this is another one. As even we said, Rick is not entirely sure. In fact, he's not entirely sure at all. While the creator of the show, Rick and Morty, are not even aware if Beth has a clone. We like to say Beth has a clone, but we can't just assume that Beth has a clone unless you I mean, you would believe Beth had a clone. This installment has later filled in to spill you the beans on who is who and what is doing what and who is doing what. This is what might spell out for the future. On a hilarious take of the episode, beginning on a crossover on the Cheers. Yeah, the crossover on Cheers. Because, for your information, just recently, one of the actors on the television show Cheers had tragically passed away this year in 2025. So, to pay homage to the sitcom Cheers, they are going to do the series from Cheers. Well, not really the whole series of Cheers, but again, they're playing a tribute to Cheers. Um, barking back at the beloved sitcom by making it kind of like a crossover, paying homage to Cheers. The Smith Doppelgangers. Well, where we have Beth and Space Beth are now going to be the next episode. This pair of doppelgangers in the animated series Rick and Morty. Recently, we had a chance to talk with Morty, played by a kid named Harry Belden, and how he approaches his character and his variants as we saw from the later season. I'm sort of like a hybrid. I remember from episode 3 going in, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm seeing all these major Mortys in my script and all these variants of stuff. It's hard to remember, but as granted, I think it's some kind of way to put some mock-up. Okay, this is what Doc Morty's gonna look like. He's got glasses, alright? I wear glasses. I've wear glasses since the first grade. Make no mistake. So that helps you a lot to kind of inform my imagination. Then we just kind of go on from that. So, okay, so what do we want this one to sound like? What do we want this one to look like? And then he continues on how being different and going on different story approach, and by focusing on his copies or his clones or his variants. The voice necessarily doesn't have to be different. You'll just hear it just from looking at him. Actually, I'm surprised looking at what the other me looks like, and wow, it's basically the same thing. You can really hear a little bit of a difference, but not really a difference because it's like you're looking at doubles of yourself. And then there's two Beths and all these other pairs of different characters from different points of time and different stretches of space. If you want to stay on the loop on what happens on with Rick and Morty, follow them up on Team Anime over on comicbook.com for any further updates on Rick and Morty. See you next time.